jersey, and the girls that are hitters, or the non-setters, are in the white jersey. One of these girls, however, is the setter right now. Who is she? Okay, so she's going to put on the special jersey. So, the way we start, okay, our setters in the 6-3 are always going to be on the right side of the court. They're going to take one turn being in the front row and one turn being in the back row, right? And that'll be 2 rotations. And after we rotate 2 times, so let's just go ahead and do that. Let's all move 2 spots around the circle. Right? We now have a new setter, so hurry up, Gemma, go run over and get rid of the special jersey. Okay. A couple concepts while she's putting on the jersey that we need to understand about volleyball. Okay? And if this is review for some of you guys because I've already taught you this, then it's even better to learn it twice. Now you extra know it. Okay? There's an important concept in volleyball called an overlap. Okay? Whoever is on the right or left of you, before the ball is put into play, before somebody serves it for the very first time, that person always has to be on the right or the left of you. Alright? So, if you two got confused, right, and you're supposed to be there and you're supposed to be there, and they have the ball and they're about to serve it, and for whatever reason you guys switch spots, alright, and you can tell we're out of play because we got 2 white jerseys next to each other and we got 2 setters next to each other, right? If they serve the ball before you figure it out and switch back to where you're supposed to be, it's automatically the other team's point. Okay? We call it being out of rotation, and if we want to get fancy with it, you'll see a referee, they'll go like this. They'll blow the whistle, and they'll go like this, and that means your team is out of rotation, which basically just means your girls didn't start in the positions that they were supposed to start in. Okay, so switch back. Let's get back in the right rotation. Okay, the reason that's important is because when the ball is being served over to us, we're going to set up in a specific formation, and we have to hold on to those rules. So the other rule besides the left and right rule is the front and back rule. Okay? Look at the girl in front of you and the girl behind you. You cannot be in front of them or behind them. But it only has to do with the girls that are immediately in front of you and behind you, or immediately on the right side and the left side. So, Gemma, you're not concerned about who's in left front. This girl doesn't, she's not going to put you into an overlap, right? It's the girl that's in front of you, and it's the girl to your left and the girl to your right. Those are the ones that you want to be concerned about. Okay? Yes? Okay, so the other team is serving to us. We're going to have a formation, right? When the other team is serving us, we call it, anybody remember? Not free ball. That's huge. Listen, a free ball is never, ever going to be a serve. Ever. A free ball is going to be a ball that is not attacked, that is sent over the net like this in the middle of a rally. Okay? Rally is when the ball is going back and forth. Serve is the very first girl to put the ball in play. We're all clear on that, yes? Okay. So, when the ball is being served to us, we are receiving the serve from the other team. Therefore, we call it serve-receive. Okay? So, this is the serve-receive formation that we're going to be working on, that we're going to be doing across the teams. We're going to have a 4-person receive. Which means there are 6 of us, but 4 of us are going to be the main passers. Okay? Now, we've got a setter. When we start in rotation 1, this is easy. We want the setter to be close to the net to be ready for the second ball. Well, she's already here. So that's great. That one's super easy. Right? What we also want, though, is we got 3 passers back here. We need a 4th passer. And the way we're going to do that is we're always going to take the front left person and we're going to move the front left person back. Okay? Now, you 2 were with me yesterday. If she moves back to pass here, what does that do to you? You guys have to scoot over and make room for her. Okay? Yes? and then Victoria, what we want is we want symmetry. Do you guys understand what symmetry means? Yeah. What does it mean, Rossi? Both sides look like each other. So see how this is, well now it's symmetrical, kind of, not really, but, okay? We want those two people there, and the two people over here to just be slightly forward, and you guys are going to come up just a little bit as well. Okay? Right now on this court, it throws you a little off. This green line for the mini court is actually 22 feet off the net, and I want you guys to be more like 20 feet off the net. So you guys are going to do 2 squares in front of this green line. Okay? I'm going to move her back real quick. Remember, she's in the front row and she's in the back row. So when she moves back to pass, she can't continue to go back and go behind, because then she would be out of rotation. She would be overlapping. So she's got to stay slightly in front. Okay? So it's kind of this like shallow little half circle. A very, very shallow bowl like this. These girls are getting ready to pass the ball. Okay? Most of the serves that come over the net are going to come over the net and they're going to land more in the middle of the court. Okay? So, my biggest overarching philosophy on how to pass and how to play defense, okay, is choose what you're taking away and choose what you're giving up. Alright? So, when I set up on defense or I set up in serve receive, I always know where my weaknesses are. Okay? Where are our weaknesses right now? Up here? Where else? Right here? Yeah, a little bit. We can have her help. Where else? Behind, super deep, right? Especially in that back corner and that back corner. So I'll give it to you. We have weaknesses, but you're always going to have weaknesses on the volleyball court, okay? Your 6 teammates could never cover every single one of these squares. There's just no way for everybody to cover everything. So we have to choose what we're going to take away and what we're going to give up. And what we're going to choose to take away is the middle portion of the court here. Okay? So if they beat us by serving a ball perfectly into that corner over there, well, that was a really good serve. So she gets to win. Okay? If she hits a ball and it lands and it's coming over and it lands right here, she doesn't get to win if this is where she puts her serve. Okay? She has to put it somewhere really good. Now, the one kind of exception I would say, you might have a girl on the other team and she serves the ball really deep every single time. So after she did that to us once or twice, what adjustment would we make? We would just all scoot back, right? You're going to have some girls that no matter how hard they try to serve, they barely get the ball over the net. So what would our response be there? To scoot up, right? And what we would do is we would take all 4 of these passers and move them up or move them back. And a lot of times, your coach will help you out on that, right? So your coach will say like, hey, let's move serve receive back. And if they say, if he or she says, let's move serve receive back, what she's saying is that we're going to take all 4 passers and move them back a little bit. Or let's scoot serve receive up. We're going to pull all of the passers forward, okay? So, what's her job? To set. So what do we not want her to do? To get the first ball. We don't want her to get the first ball. Now we have kind of an extra person off here. She's going to be standing in this neighborhood. She's going to be sideways and she's going to be down and ready and look like a volleyball player. You're going to be down and ready, looking like a volleyball player. You guys are going to look like you're ready to receive a serve. What can she help on? No? For passing. Short serves. Good verbiage. Okay? If that ball comes barely over and you guys are back here, and this ball's going to land right here, just because you're this middle front person doesn't mean that you go like, oh, passing's not my job. And you move out of the way. Right? These are your primary passers. But either one of you, if it's between you taking the ball, even though we would like these girls to take it, right? But if you don't get it, it's going to hit the ground. What choice do we make? Get the ball, right? The most important thing is that the ball doesn't hit the ground inside these lines, because we lose if that happens, right? Got it? Yeah? Okay. In relation to responsibilities, okay, for the most part, just to try to keep things as simple as possible, we're kind of playing lanes here, okay? So a ball that comes over, and it's in this area, basically from the 10-foot line all the way to the back line, that's kind of going to be you, all right? And we got a lane right here from the 10-foot line back, same right here, and same right here, okay? Does that make sense with so far? Yeah? And then we have these gaps in the middle, and we call those seams. Okay? Seams are another weakness, right? There's nobody standing in that seam. If the ball comes over, toss me a ball real quick, Olivia. If the ball comes over the net and it goes right to Gemma, that's not a hard math problem to solve. Right? Who's getting the ball? Gemma. Okay? I have that ball. If that ball goes right here, that's a little bit harder of a problem. Again, we can't cover every square foot of the court, right? How many squares is everybody taking up right now? Like 2, maybe 4? How many of them are there? 900. Yes, there's 900 of those squares. 30 by 30 is 900. Okay? So that means there's a lot of squares that nobody is currently standing in. Right? So we have to move. Yeah? So, how are we going to solve that problem? One of us calls it, and not only do you need to call it, you need to call it with your mouth, but you also need to call it with your body. Okay? Your body language is going to say, I get it as well. Right? So if you say, I got it, but you don't move, right? And she heard you, you're not going to get it. Right? Nobody's going to get it because you didn't move. If you move, and you don't say anything, she might run into you because you didn't say anything. So we need both to happen. Okay? So Gemma, let's have you get the ball in that seam. So you're going to move over and say, I got it. Good. All right? Now let's try this. Both of you are going to move for that ball, but you are going to be more aggressive with your move, and you're going to be more aggressive with your mouth. Got it. Yeah, so see how she backs off? Right? Yeah? Okay? Your natural instinct, if someone goes like this, super fast at you, what's your natural instinct? To stop, right? But here's the flip side of that. What I see all the time is you make a strong move to go get the ball, and you see this girl start to come at you, and then you stop. Right? And what you end up having is the ball hits the ground because both of the girls moved. That's really why the vocal call is super important. Both girls are going to be moving towards it, but one of the girls needs to be more aggressive than the other. So let's change. You be more aggressive, right? And be louder. Good. Okay? We kind of, for the most part, unless the ball's coming right at somebody, if the ball's coming into a seam, we want 2 people to be ready to get it. But one of them needs to call it stronger. Okay? Yes? Okay, go back to your starting position. So you come back forward. Your front line. Your back middle. So we got this relationship, right? Okay, so let's rotate 1. Okay, you're here. Do we need to change her out? No, not yet. She's going to set for 2 rotations, so she's still got the special jersey on for the second rotation. Right? So from here, now we're going to set up the same exact formation. But now, because the setter is one of our back row players, how many other back row players do we have? Is your hand up? What? What?
3. I was asking.
Okay. If the setter is in the back row, how many other back row players do we have? 2. How many passes do we want? 4. So how many players from the front row do we need to move back? 2. Because we don't want the setter to get the first ball. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this girl and that girl. And then we got to set up the same pattern this way. Okay? And then what we're going to do on the right side is the girl who's in the right front that came back to pass, she's going to make sure that she's in a little bit because the setter is going to come on that outside. Okay? We got an overlap situation right here, right? We got a back row player, and then we got the girl that's right in front of her. But she can basically be 1 millimeter behind her, and she is still good. So what I tell the setters to do here, set up like you're going to serve receive. Yeah, just get ready to receive the ball. So if I'm a setter, I'm going to look at her feet, and I'm going to get my left foot, and I'm going to put it right here, so it's just behind her feet. Okay? And then I'm going to lead. And what the setter needs to do is as the server is getting ready to serve, that setter wants to anticipate that contact. So you're not going to wait to see me hit the ball and get it over. As soon as I'm about to make contact, bang, you're gone. Okay? Ready? Good, and it's going to be fast. So go back. Okay? So footwork for the setters, which foot is forward right now? The left foot is forward, so which is the first step she's going to take? She's going to take a right step first. Okay? So the left step is forward, and she's going to take 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. And once she gets to her 3rd step, she's going to kind of jump stop and face her teammate. So try that real quick. 1, 2, 3. No, don't land in it. 1, 2, 3. Jump stop. Okay, try one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yes, good. Okay, you did it right. Now let's do it faster. Go back. So that's the move off that contact. Ready? Good. So she's ready to go. She's ready to be our setter. You guys are our passers. Yes? You good? Okay. Which girls move back? Okay. Where are they at? What positions are they in? Left front and right front. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and rotate one. Okay? You see how we got 2 white jerseys standing next to each other? That tells me we're out of rotation. What's wrong? No. Emma's where she's supposed to be. These 2. Right? So you got confused because you came back to pass. You got confused and thought you were right back, but you weren't right back. You were right front and you pulled back to pass. Right? So we have to remember where we started. So what has to happen now in terms of the setters? Let's switch out the setters, right? Okay, so let's get that jersey on the other girl. Okay, all right, so new setter. Setter says, that's new hands, right? New setter, new setter, new setter. Okay, she's going to tell everybody, new setter, new setter. It might be the most important thing just to remind this girl that she's not the setter anymore. Sometimes we get so used to setting that we start running in and we're like, oh yeah, I'm not setter anymore. Somebody else is. Okay, so it's helpful if the new setter comes in and says, new setter, right? We're right back to where we started 2 rotations ago. So when we're in serve receive, we only have 2 formations that we have to worry about. Because every time we get to a new setter, the pattern is going to repeat. Right? So what did we do when we looked like this last time? How did we get 4 passes? Left front moved back. And then these girls moved over. Does she need to go behind? No, she's already in the front row, right? She's already here. This girl in the middle front is going to set up right here. So one of the things that's easy to remember, if you're middle front, this is always going to be you. You're never going to pass when you're in middle front. If you are left front, you always pass. Left front in both rotations is going to come back to pass both times. And the main difference is on the right side, right? One of the times the setter's already in the front row, and so the right back is already right back. And then in the next rotation, yeah, let's rotate 1 spot. Good. So now now we got a setter back row. So what do we need to do? We only have 2 passers, so we need to pull 2 front row people back. We always pull left front back. Always. Or sorry, yeah, left front back. And when the setter's back row, we pull right front back. And what does middle do? She stays here, turns sideways, and gets ready to get a short ball. Okay? Scoot back just a little bit, right? And you need to be behind her, right? Which foot's going to be forward? There you go. And what's the footwork going to be for the setter? Right, left, right, right, left, right. Jump stop. Okay? If you're a setter, you'll notice that a lot of my teaching goes right, left, right. That's the pattern a lot of times. I make it easy. That way you don't have to remember other patterns. Just remember right, left, right for almost everything that you do. Okay? So, let's practice it. Ready? So I'm going to serve it. So she's gone. I'm going to toss it in right here. Catch it. Good. So you're the passer, so you would say, I got it, I got it, I got it. And here's the last part. Okay? We need hitters. Who are our primary hitters? Nope. Where's the setter? Is she in the front row or back row? So how many front row attackers do we have? 2. We have 1 front row setter, and we have 2 front row attackers. We have the middle front and the left front. As soon as that ball goes over, if middle front is not going to do the passing, she needs to get ready to hit. So she needs to get off the net to have room for her approach. Thank you. Okay? And left front needs to move up and get a little outside to get ready to hit a ball from there. Okay, so give me that ball back. Let's get back. Get back in our rotation.
3 hitters, Chris.
Okay. Yeah, setter's back row. I moved him. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot I moved you guys up. We actually have, you're right, we have 3 hitters front row right now. Okay? So, back it up 1. Setter, come back front row. Right? So you're middle front. Jump you that way. You guys go back. So Gemma, you move back to pass. So let's do both of these. Okay? You're off to the side, you're middle front, right? Okay? So you're already good, right? I'm gonna serve this ball, let's just catch it. Ready? Good, catch it. Good. Now, as that ball's coming over, you need to do what? Go get ready to hit. You need to do what? Go get ready to hit. So give me that ball back. Let's try that again. If the hitters wait for the pass to already happen before they get ready to hit, they will usually be too late. Okay? So if you're a hitter, you're one of these 2 girls, right? And you don't have to get the first one. You need to be ready to hit by the time the setter gets her hands on the ball. Okay? Ready? Here we go. Good. So then toss it to the setter. Just catch it. Perfect. So that pass goes up, the setter gets her hands on it, and we have 2 hitters ready to go. Yes? Okay, so now let's rotate again. Let's get back to where we were before. Let's rotate this way. Okay, what's the formation? Who do we have to pull back to pass? Yeah, left front and right front, got to pull them back to pass. Right? So now our setter's in the back row. Right? So now we have 3 front row attackers. So we can set right front or middle front or left front. So I want to pop a ball in. I want to see a setter release to get ready to set. I'm going to give it to one of these 2 girls in the middle, and I want to see all 3 hitters ready to hit by the time that we get the ball to the setter. So let's try to pass this ball, actually pass it, and let's try to get to a catch. Ready? Here we go. Good. Oh, yeah, the setter, that's fine. This wasn't good to catch it. Catch it. Okay? So go back to where you were. This was good. That was good. Go back. So these 2 hitters are ready to go. Got 1 piece of the puzzle missing. Somebody forgot what they're doing. We have 3 hitters. Right? Yeah, so let's try it again. So let's just get to a setter. start assigning numbers to these sets. Okay? If you set the girl in the middle, we call that a 2. If we set the girl left front on the outside, we call it a 4. And if we set the girl behind, we call it a 5. So it starts to get easier because then the setter's not yelling out somebody's name. She can yell out what she's setting. So she can get the ball and she can say 4, 4, 4. And then you need to know that that means you. That's code for outside, right? So here's the 2, nice and high in the middle. 5 ball would be behind. Most likely if you're setting that ball, it's probably because the pass is over here and you would be facing this way, right? And then we have our back row attacks as well, right? So our back row attacks are a little bit different in terms of what they're called. If we set the girl over here, we call this an A. We call this a pipe because it's right down the middle, it's right down the pipe, and we call this a D. Okay? So if I set, go ahead and go forward. We're going a little over, but I just want to be clear. Okay, so if I set this set, what's it called? A 4. If I set this set, what's that called? An A, that's right. You need to be ready to hit that, right? Okay? If I set this set, what's that called? Height. The D is over here on the right side. 2, 5. Okay? Now we're running out of stuff. We're kind of cramming it all at the end. Okay? So 4, 2, 5. Those are the super important ones. In the back row, D, pipe, and A. And that's why we have it on video so that we can post that if you guys can remember that. Okay? And I'll do a little description of it as well. Okay? So we got it all described. Now you got to work on it at practice and actually put these things into play. Again, if the setter can talk, it's so helpful. Right? If the setter's going to get it, she needs to say, I set. If she needs help, she needs to say, help. Right? And then if she can say, I set, and then she can say, 2, 2, 2, or 4, 4, 4, or 5, 5, 5, or pipe, pipe, pipe. Right? Notice those things are all one syllable. Right? It's easy to say quickly and get on board with who you're going to set. What could you also do if you're the hitter over here? What could you be saying if you want her to give you the ball? No, not set me. Set me is not a set that we run. Set 4. You don't even have to say set, you just say 4, 4, 4, 4. You're yelling at the setter, I want 4. Okay? Alright, good job. Go ahead and take the jerseys off.